pleasure, nay, our honor, to recite for you Clement Seymour's classic holiday poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring.
Except Dad, who was stirring with anger in a losing effort to retain his holiday spirit. As he attempted to assemble a toy for our 7-year-old brother Bobby. It was a highly complex toy that cost more than Dad's first car, and it was advertised along with that dreaded label, "Some assembly required."
True. Saying some assembly required is like saying the Titanic sustained some water damage. I mean, this thing had more parts than a space shuttle.
Speaking of space, Dad was now convinced that extraterrestrial life did indeed exist, because the assembly instructions were clearly written by beings from another galaxy. And these beings insisted on Phillips screwdrivers.
And Dad, not being the most handy guy in the world, could not find his Phillips screwdriver. In fact, he was wondering who Phillips was and why he needed a screwdriver from everybody else.
And that was the festive holiday thought that Dad was thinking as he attempted to attach part 304B to part 304C using a steak knife.
But, other than that, not a creature was stirring.
Sorry, sis, gotta interrupt again. Mom was definitely stirring as she entered her 5th Walmart on a desperate quest to retrieve the one thing that our 5-year-old sister Susie wanted for Christmas, which was, of course, a Barbie doll.
But not just any Barbie doll. She wanted the stereotypical Barbie with a pink gingham dress, just like in the movie.
And she wanted the Ken doll with the pink and mint green stripe matching outfit with the surfboard.
What's next? A Mojo Dojo Casa house? When is enough?
The problem with this is, of course, that every 3 to 12-year-old girl in the United States had to have this stuff, or her Christmas would be ruined. But since only about 9 of these things were made, the odds were against Mom, because she had to battle thousands of other parents who converged at this very Walmart like zombies from The Walking Dead.
Mom had to fight her way into the doll aisle where, loading a Tonka truck like a club, she claimed her prize, and then, trailed by a mob of screaming rival parents, she raced out of the store, leapt into her car, and roared out of the parking lot, knocking over the Salvation Army kettle and barely missing the bell ringer.
She rushed home, burst through the door, and there beheld the image of Dad, trying to pry open the dog's mouth, because he was convinced that the dog had eaten part 867. Why?
And with that just beautiful image seared into our minds, let's get back to the poem, shall we? And out on the lawn there arose such a clatter
that Dad let go of the dog and ran to the window, because now he was convinced that the neighborhood troublemakers were at it again.
When, what to my wondering eyes should appear, but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer with...
Dad shouted to Mom to call the police, because now he was convinced that the neighborhood boys were trying to play a prank on them, and that the reindeer were going to ruin the lawn.
And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
They're going for the roof, said Mom. Like heck they are, said Dad. We just spent a fortune replacing that roof after the storm. Dad was clearly not having any prancing and pawing on his new roof.
All right. Clearly, Clement Seymour would have written a much different poem had he lived today. But I believe that the modern version of his poem would have ended the same way. Because when Susie came downstairs and saw a stereotypical Barbie, and Bobby came downstairs and saw his incredibly complex toy,
which he broke in less than 4 minutes,
their little faces just glowed with Christmas joy.
And Mom and Dad, who had had less than an hour of sleep, their faces had that look of satisfaction that said it was all worth it.
Now, let's get back to the words of Clement Moore. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.